Hello guys, welcome back. This is Ajay Kabadi from Sandbox Startups. So since we have previously seen that we have created a JHipster, when you are successfully completed this one, it will be showing you server app generated successfully and a client app generated successfully. After the successful completion of this one, you need to create any database that you are dealing with. So since I am using the PostgreSQL, so if you are using a MySQL, you're gonna create the database according to your needs on that one. I'm gonna showcase you the same, which is similar to that one, which is PostgreSQL. I'm gonna open my PostgreSQL and I will create a new database in this one, and that database name will be Sandbox. So I'm gonna name the database name as Sandbox and click name, and the owner or the user is Postgres, and I am having the password as a root. So I'm gonna linking that one, and you can see the Sandbox table will be database will be created over here. And when we look to the schemas of the public and to the tables directory, yeah, here we have, since there are no tables here. Yes, it will be when we run JHipster, all the gradually the tables will be created. No need of doing that. So open your any Intel. I'm going to use Intel IDJ as a development environment. Open that particular Intel IDJ in your thing. I'm going to use that one. I'm going to use Intel IDJ. It is taking a while to load. Open the Intel IDJ in your platform, and when you and and click on that one, and it's gonna take a while for loading. So basically it will be creating whenever you try to generate or play the particular JSTOR web application, it's gonna create all the user entity tables and all the details that are required at the initial phase of running. So whenever you first run your Intel J idea, you need to worry. It will automatically detect that's an Maven project for this one, and it will load all the things that is required for your end, including the client side and also from the server side. So we will look more into until it's load. We will look more into the Postgres SQL. So it will be having some schemas. You can create the tables over here, and the analytics that will be present more of a database sessions over here. The transactions per seconds that are happening for the database when we are linking to that one. When it opens, we can gradually see that one a number of tuples. From now there are no tuples since we are not connected to the database yet, and the tuples out and the number of block input output thing. So when Intel IDJ successfully loads, you're gonna open the project that was created. So since I have created a sandbox as a project, so I will be opening that up. It will take a while for depending on your configuration, it will load for a while. There is a lot of visibility involved in this one, which gives a process ID for you, the application, the client address, and the backend start for this one. So every state will be given. So state is also given as an idle since the database is not getting used for that one. So whenever you tell to that this is a folder that our project is there, Intel IDG automatically initializes that this is a Maven project, and it will load all the configurations that is required to up and run the JHipster application. Okay, sorry. So since I'm cricket enthusiastic, I was seeing the score of today's tournament. I will close that one. Okay, so open a folder that have been created, and it was created in my repository called as Sandbox. Yeah, here it is. You click OK. So it automatically scans for the does it have a manual project. So if so, it will load all the Gradle projects or necessary packages for that, and make sure that you have initialized the Java in your environment variable, which we will be using. Yes, of course, this window, and we gonna view what all the project is or project contains. So tools, oops, view tools, the project. So this is the whole project that we are looking into the sandbox startups. To the project. So it is resolving the dependencies of the sandbox. It is loading all the packages that are there in this particular directory. It's taking a couple of while to load. Yeah. So this is a Intel IDJ idea project. So it is initialized with the gulp, the number of node modules, and this is the main directory we're gonna mainly looking into. And the POM XML are already configured and all. And when we look into the source project, there are two phases, a main and the test, the Docker, the Java, the number of resources that we're gonna use, and the web app mainly for the front end designs, for the front end designs, which contains app, which contains the JavaScript files over here of account, admin, blocks, components, entities, home, layout, services, all will be initialized over here. And you can look to the index.html page, which is already being initialized, and which is when we run to that, it will be up and running with this one. And the resources contains all of the necessary resources for the REST API you mainly look into. I will showcase you how that will be initialized, and the template gonna error if any error. And the Java contains all the necessary packages that will be loading for login, synchronous configuration, a domain, the repository, the security layer that will be present, a service that it will be used, and for the web, what all the filter and the rest that will be gonna use. So, and in the test, it's Gatling, Java, and JavaScript and the resources for the testing purposes. So this is more of a source project. So this is more of a text project for your needs. So when we look into the resources, we go to source, then just go one by one. When we go to source, the main, the necessary resources, and then the configuration files. You can see there are three files called as application.yml, the application of development yml, and the application of production yml. So these are the three prominent, and you're gonna set the database name, the user, and the password over here in the development and the production, so that it gonna initialize and create the databases in that particular directory over there. So if you are mainly looking for the development purposes, you can initialize the database base name, the users, and all over here. Let's see, the process is still running and taking indexing all the files and configuring all the Maven projects for this one. This will take a couple of minutes to process, and it will take depending on the needs. So when we look to this index.html, it will having a title of sandbox and number of styles. Browser, which is using the Bootstrap, has an CSS, and for the loading bar, it is using a Bootstrap. I'm sorry, Angular loading bar. And the link, the body has an ng associated with an ng apps called as sandbox app. And the page ribbon and more of the necessary browser components called which uses jQuery, JSON, message format, and necessary components, and which will be having all the app component, all the scripts that are present in mainly the web app, into the web app and the app. So you can look into the more of the components that are present over here. So it is having all the necessary components like alert, form, login, and util, all the basic forms that will be covered and that will be present to your needs, and all will be set over here. So this is a basic index HTML, and if you have the Google Analytics, you can change any Google and comment this one, and you can use the Google Analytics according to your code over here, and you can use this one. And for the and robust.txt for the Google is already started, which allows this particular accounts over here. And when we look and the bar is configured, the gulf file.js, the package.json. When we click on package.json, we look number of configurations that been. So version is of 0.0.0. A description, you can give a particular description for your project according to your needs. And my private is yes, it's a private project. So development dependencies like the number of versions initialized in the package.json. So my browser are running at this particular version. So depending on the versions initialized over here, all the package.json contains all the initializes that will be done, and the node modules where contains which necessary contains the browser components over here. And when we go to the source, then main, then resources, and into the application.yml, we generally look into which contains the necessary attributes that will be we mainly focusing on in initializing all the social plugins like Facebook, Twitter and Google, and which will be giving an API key for that one, which automatically logs in as the modern web application do. You can sign up through Google or Twitter or Facebook just with a click, and you just allow the considerations, and you will log in all the necessary requirements, and you will be logged into this particular web console. So similarly, it works as the same, and you will be giving a much of a API key over here. So when we look into the application.yml, you will be having the Spring Health, the management, the messages, them if theme leaf is gonna getting used over here, and Facebook and Google and Twitter for just logging into the social platforms. So for this Google, you're gonna create a client ID and a secret key. We'll be also be looking into how to create a client ID and also a client secret. And for the Facebook, we will be looking into client ID and a client secret. If you give this particular one, you are good to go. You can log in through Facebook and Google, and JHipster will log all the necessary, you can say, entities. It will extract, and that will be present in the admin console. And you can also look the clear view of this one, and also the Twitter. For any help, you can go to this particular URL, and you can create an client ID and a client secret for that one. So JHipster asynchronous, you can use get, port, push, delete, and options, which uses the Swagger, which is backed by Microsoft. And the mail, I'm gonna use from sandbox at localhost. You can gradually change any email or ID that you want over here. You just, and the Swagger, as I was previously mentioning, it's a title of a sandbox API, the version, the number of versions. So, and this is my development environment. I'm gonna create a database. I'm gonna specify the database name, and since already I created a sandbox as a database, and I'm gonna give a name. And since my name of a user is Postgres, I will be pasting that one, and my database sorry, user password is root, and same will be applying for the production mode, which will be connecting to this particular data source for connecting the tables and extracting the values and dumping the values. And you can use REST API according to it. And this is the production mode, and you gotta change the your basic username for this also. I'm gonna change it to Postgres, and password is root, and click save, and you are good to go with the database connection now. And after that one, you go to the source, then main, then Java class, and you're gonna click on sandbox app, or after the maven repository gets completed successfully, you can click on play method. So it gradually gonna connect to the database and create all the tables that it wants, and all the repositories that it gonna make. So currently we will look through, we will refresh this particular database over here. When we refresh, there are no tables present over here. You can gradually see there are no tables present, and when JHipster creates, all the database tables will be loaded over here. We will be refreshing to our needs, so you can see there are no database yet. So it's initializing all the parse data over here, and the process are being run over here. and it takes couple of while some seconds to load to set up all the things that it requires. The user, the basic dashboard that JHipster have, that it takes time to load. And then the number of tables will be gradually reflected over here, and you can see the analytics, and which is going to connecting to the tuple. Since the previously, as I mentioned, the tuples were not there, and you are getting the gradual increase in the, since there is an since there is an connection establishing between the database and the JHipster application that is running on Intel J. So parsing the Java for the test of sandbox. And for the mail also, you can give, if you have mail authentication like that, you can give mail which is having a host, port number, username, and a password. So activation mail, if you change this one, you can send the mails to the particular user, which will be having the feasibility to reset the password, to get an activation mail for them. So all the feasibility, all the those are already integrated. You just need to use according to your needs. So this is getting loading. The JStar is getting loaded, as you can see this one. So it is restarting and debugging all the necessary packages, and it logging onto the system property over here, and it is checking the Spring Boot version and the Spring of release, and it takes couple of time to load on. And this is a pack, the directory that we are creating. We, after the successful creation, we can create an entities over here. You can gulp the server, as I was previously mentioning the previous tutorial. You can edit your content at the live base. We will look into this by gulp serving this one after this Intel IDE completely loads this one. So you just need to take a while and take a breath, and it will be loaded. So it gonna take while depending on your configurations that you want. So registering the matrix filter for this one, web application is getting configured. And now this is starting a liquid base asynchronously, which is connecting to your database and creating a tables to your backend moreover, and it is creating all the usernames, the admin passwords, the login, the configurations are all getting initialized over here. So when we look into this one, when you try to refresh tables again, yeah, as you can see, the number of tables getting created, like users, the authorities, the user connections, and all are getting gradually get all automatically all connected. And you can see there is an increase in the tuple, since we already got a tables created. So that's a fluctuation that he had, and also the dashboard sessions are being established over here. So you can see like and configure the ability connectivity, as you can specify, if you can specify the connection a client ID and the secret key for that one. People can log in through Google, Facebook, and Twitter, as was previously mentioning. I will just, until it's low, I will minimize this one. And as I was talking about the mail system over here, you can give any host address. So if you can have a Gmail as an account, you can provide an SMTP at Gmail, or any mail providers like Mailchimp and SendGrid. You can provide this one if you have an official account of that one, and the respective username and password. So whenever a customer or a user registers to your JHipster account, automatic activation mail will be sent, who gonna activate that mail. And also if a user or a customer forgets his password, he will be having a capability of resetting that password through an email. So all the basic configurations of that all will be taken care of. Yes, my successful sandbox Hipster is successfully set up, and I will try to copy this particular link and I'm gonna open in my Chrome browser, and I will paste that particular URL over here, and it's gonna load all the basic Hipster web application. So it's getting loaded. Yes, at last we have created our JHipster application. So if you have completed all these ones till now, you are good to go with your development now. So So it will be giving a welcome Java hipster and the number of footer. And since it's in a development mode, it gives a particular tag over here called as development. And you can log and if you it can give us a basic configuration like administrator can log in through admin and user gonna log in through and pass login as an user, password is a user. So you can create a new account. When you click on a new account, there will be a particular form generated. You can sign in with Google, sign in with Facebook, and sign in with Twitter, and give your particular username, email, password, and you can confirm that one according to it. I gonna click to the sign in and click on admin as a password. So since I have already done that one and it is saved in my repository, I will click into sign in. So it's gonna log into the particular web console over here, and you can gradually you are logged in as a user admin. So there are no entities present yet. We will be creating in our next tutorials. And when you click on account, there are not lots of drop downs present over it. Nice fancy kind of a thing that is already getting generated for your need. And then in administration, the user, the matrix, health, and all. And we will go one by one. We'll click on account, the settings. Moreover, you can change your first name, the last name, and the email. For the users also it will be there. And you can change your password and the number of sessions that you are logged into. That it gives an, and you can sign out. And in the administration it gives a user management like who are the users, what are the rules of the admin, and who all are created, and what's their status account, which gives a clear view. You can edit that one, you can view, and you can delete also, which gradually gets reflected, and it will be erased from the database also. And the good thing about JHipster, it is having a online application matrix. We will be giving like how much memory it is getting used, the number of heap memory, the waiting, the all the basic HTTP errors, the handles, the number of requests, that is the number of failures, the server error, and all our configurations are already present. You are no need to worry. You just need to fix that one if there are an error occurs. So it's an online streaming. It will keep track on all the things over here. And in the health, the number of disk space, or the configuration, like is the DB up, is the Elasticsearch up, and all. So number of configurations, like what are the configurations you can make for this particular, all they are present over here. And the number of audits, also the authentications audits, the number of logs, that we are logs for the users. And it's since it's a huge thing, it takes the time to load. So we will it gradually takes the time. We will skip this one. And you get a trace of all those things, and we will looking mainly into the API. So whenever database gets created or an entity gets created, we will be directly creating a Swagger API of a sandbox API. So you can see like there is an account resource, the profile info resource, and the user resource. When you click on account resource, if you want to get all the account resources, you can just click on API account over here, and you will gradually get all the user accounts over. When I try it out, so you can see like there is an admin, administrator activated, yes, true. So number of response headers over here. And if you also have a number of profile information, if you want to have, you can get the request and you can try it out. So you can select 401 for unauthorized, 403 for forbidden, 404 for not for. So will be gradually given like what all the response body is and the number of user resources present over here. So I'm gonna get the number of users present in this one. I'm gonna try it out. Yeah, so we will be getting the system, the administrator, and the users, all the users that was previously seen in this administrator user management protocol. So you can use put request, get request, post request, and query according to, and all these are already configured in JHipster. That's a thing that we are comfortable with in using, which loads all the necessary packages for your needs, and you are good to go with your development process. So this is all about the basic overview of what JHipster about, and whenever you create, the entities will be reflected over here, and this is the most of the basic front end, you can say. And we will look into the more of a live editing of this console. We go to this particular command prompt and we just run as gulp, click enter, that it gonna initialize and open in a browser, and whenever there are some changes to be made or some live editings to be made, gulp can be used more of a. Okay, I'm gonna stop that one since I misspelled that one. I gonna use gulp serve. I'm using gonna use gulp serve. So you're gonna type as gulp serve over here, which gonna initializes and it's gonna open in the format of a localhost and having the necessary packages, that one. So whenever the live editing is made, it's already gonna getting reflected in that one. I can clearly showcase you in the two windows like an Microsoft Edge and also the Google Chrome. You can edit that one accordingly. So when I so this is the localhost that is opened in the Microsoft Edge. So I gonna open this. I will gonna close this one particular JHipster, and since this localhost is open at 9000 port, I'm gonna open localhost in 9000 and click enter. And these both Java Hipster I will click on side by side. These are open at the side by side, and actually the good fact is it's comfortable with the boot. Since it's a bootstrap, it's comfortable with the web app, more of a web app application, so it synchronizes according to the layout that you are defining. So it's a tablet, you are good to go with having a sidebar and also the good nice fancy kind of a thing. So whenever changes and some changes on account registrations are that already getting reflected to that one. So I'm gonna use admin. You can see the responsiveness of this one. So it is getting used to that one. So if there is sign in, that is already getting reflected in this one. So gradual changes are being getting done over here. So that is also getting logged in this one. And that's usage of this one, like how comfortable is this one with this one. So you can gradually see. I'm gonna sign in into this one also. Login, sign in, called as admin, click enter when you successful login. And when you go to the entities column that is not presented, so when you go to the user management, it automatically loads the user management over. That's the feasibility that gulp server has for the live editing purposes. So we will go to the home page in the both the things. So it gradually loads, and we try to change some index file over here, the welcome Java hipster. We can change something like that, and that will be live reloaded. We go to our Java hipster application of the Intel IDE. I move this down, and I go to my particular web app directory. I'm gonna open my index.html, and I'm gonna change the particular home page directory. So more of a, I'm gonna open the content, the number of images present over here, the number of style sheets, and the browser components that are present over here, the app. So more of I'm gonna open the home directory. I'm gonna open the home HTML, which is nothing but this particular home page that is getting displayed over here. So I will move the windows by the side, you can, so that you can look more clearer in this one. So this is it. I'm gonna move this project aside, so you're gonna see. So I'm gonna edit this particular content like welcome Java Hipster. I'm gonna call it as welcome sandbox and click save, and it automatically, you can see like it's getting automatically reloaded over here. It automatically initializes and looks to the changes. So I'm gonna change this, and I'm gonna look the Chrome. I will move this particular aside also. I'm gonna look into this one. As you can say, welcome sandbox. So I'm gonna make changes to this particular home page also. This is your main page, and you are logged in as a user. You I'm gonna call it as you did it. You and you can change anything that you want. If you are like a JSO, don't forget to give a star. Hola, I am live editing. So click save, and it automatically gonna initializes, and whenever the save is made, it automatically gonna initializes over here. So all the changes that is getting done over index.html is already getting reflected on this one. So you can say like welcome sandbox, this is your main page is getting changed over here, and hola, I am now live editing. So this is the format that you're gonna mainly looking to gulp. So and in the next tutorial we'll be mainly looking how to use the entity, how you're gonna create the tables, and how you're gonna build the relationship using that one in through and command promote. And we'll be mainly looking into and how we're gonna live edit, and how we're gonna dump the data into the database through your forms that it will be gradually getting created, and also how the REST APIs controllers are getting created. And thank you for watching.